Hi, Mike Fan here, and here is my take on how to stick to your exercise goals. And I think it comes down to two things. One, the way you're setting your goals, and two, the amount of accountability you have. So a lot of people, when they first set out their goals, their exercise goals, I think they're doing it in the wrong way. And the way you should do it, the way I think you should do it, is via the smart way. So in terms of we want the goal that you're setting to be specific, okay? Specific in terms of it's not just about I want to feel fitter or I want to lose weight or I want to tone up. It's being more specific than that. It's like what particular clothes size do you want to get into, or how quick do you want to be able to run or run at all, or what weight do you want to get down to? Although I'll do another video on how I don't believe tracking your weight is the best way to improve your health, okay? But by the by, we're back to this sticking to your goals. I think goal setting has to have rather these five things. Firstly, it's this being specific. So being specific with what you want to achieve, okay? The second thing is it measurable? Is the goal that you set actually measurable? So say it's, you're going to try and get down to a certain dress size, like a size 12 or whatever. That is going to be measurable, because if you can't get into a size 12, yet, then it means you've got some work to continue to do, right? I'm not saying that that's the only goal that you're going to set. The exercise goal can be anything. It can be I want to be able to run for the bus without being out of breath. I want to get up the stairs without being out of breath. I want to be able to do 100 burpees in one go. Whatever it is, it's got to be specific, and you've got to be able to measure yourself to gauge whether you're on track or not. The third thing is, when it comes to goal setting, it has to be achievable. Is it achievable in the time and with the resources that you have? Okay, and in that kind of realm, we've also got to set a target or a goal that is realistic. If you're 4 foot nothing or 5 foot whatever, like I am, you're never going to suddenly sprout 3 foot and be able to play basketball dunking from 7 foot up in the air, okay? It's got to be realistic to you in terms of, yes, it's got to be a stretch. However, it's got to be achievable and realistic in your mind, so that it's going to help you grow, and it's going to be something worth achieving in the first place. All right, that's how we grow, by setting ourselves challenges and enjoying the process that you're going to go through to get there. Okay, and enjoy how you're going to change as a person whilst you're doing the things that are necessary and being the person that you have to be to get there in the first place. Okay, so smart goal setting, okay, it's got to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and finally, there's got to be some kind of deadline, because if you don't set yourself a deadline, it's just going to float and you're going to take as long as you want, and it's never achievable. Have you ever noticed that if you set yourself a deadline, like I'm going on holiday next Thursday, suddenly you get so much more work done at work, because you know that there's a finite amount of time, and you suddenly get so much more done than if you weren't to set a deadline, and then you just kind of coast along. So one, in terms of helping yourself to stick to your exercise goals, is the importance of goal setting and how you do it. The second thing is the amount of accountability you have. That is going to help determine how well you can stick to your exercise goal. And where most people fall out, or fall down rather, in terms of not being able to stick to their goals, is usually because there's not enough accountability. Okay, and accountability I see is split out into 3 key areas. One is about the feelings. So we want to drill down into how do you actually want to feel when you've achieved this goal, so that you can be clear on the feeling that you want to achieve, and therefore it's going to help drive you towards it and help you to ultimately stick to your goal better. And you also want to delve into the feelings of, why does this goal matter? Why does it even matter to you? Like, if it matters enough to you, you will change in your head from I should be exercising to I must be exercising. And that subtle change is going to help you stick to your goal even better, because you're not thinking about, oh, I should do this and this. It's now actually I have got to do this, otherwise X, Y, Z, okay? So that's about raising your accountability by looking at the feelings. The second thing to raise the amount of accountability, i.e. how answerable you are to this goal or these goals that you're setting yourselves, is to share your goal or goals with at least one other person, because you're therefore answerable to someone else, not just yourself. Because previously, if you didn't have accountability, what happened was you could easily talk yourself out of doing something, of say going to the gym or cooking that meal or doing that thing that you know was ultimately going to get you closer to your goal. But because you had a hard day at work, the last thing you wanted to do was leave the house again to go to the gym or go to the class or whatever it was. So by telling at least one other person, you're suddenly more accountable, and you've got more than just yourself to kind of feel like you're letting down, okay? And the third thing is to up the stakes. So what I mean by this, in terms of improving your accountability so that you ultimately stick to your race goals, or your exercise goals rather, is to up the stakes and understand in your head whether you're more motivated by pleasure or pain. So most of us in the UK anyway are more motivated by wanting to get away from pain, as opposed to wanting to achieve something pleasurable. So case in point is I want to get into a size 10 dress or whatever it is, okay? The pain in this could be the potential pain of, if I don't get into that dress, then I'm not going to be able to go to that wedding, that event, that party, or whatever, and feel as great as I would like to be. Or the pain, the pleasure rather, could be I get to wear that dress because of the way it's going to make me feel. The fact that, you know, I've been looking forwards to wearing this dress, and when I do finally get to squeeze into it, it's going to make me feel great, etc. Right? So in terms of it's learning about yourself, in terms of working out whether you're more motivated by wanting to get away from something that could cause you pain of some sort, or whether you are more motivated by something that is going to give you pleasure. Okay, so they're the two key tenets really as to what it's going to take to help you to stick to those exercise goals once and for all. One, it's looking at how you set the goal in the first place, or the goals. And secondly, it's the amount of accountability you have, because I am willing to bet that if you haven't been able to stick to your exercise goals in the past, you've either not set the goal in this way, in the smart way, and you've not had enough accountability in the past. So if this video was of help to you, then just drop me a comment below this video and hit the subscribe button, and more of these kind of videos will be coming up onto this channel very, very soon. I hope it was of help. See you again soon.